Sir, now the question arises and the amendment which honorable member has brought forward also raise the question, namely, to what extent the supremacy of parliament has to be accepted, sign of interrogation, sir. At one stage when the Supreme Court had struck down the Bank Nationalization Act and the Privy Purse abolition measure, there was a dominant body of thinking in the country that Parliament should be supreme stop. People then said, as eminent justice had said, that the constitution of a country should not be what the judges say, but what the people say. Stop the feeling was like what President Roosevelt had said, namely that the courts should not be a third house, a third chamber, a super legislature, a super parliament. Stop on policy question. Parliament is supreme. Stop para. Sir, then there has been further thinking on this question, and this Constitution Amendment Bill also raises this question. Stop so far as Parliament's power to amend the Constitution is concerned, particularly where individual rights are concerned, where property rights are concerned, and where Parliament is passing legislations for the Harijans, for the backward classes, for the scheduled castes, for the small and marginal farmers, for minorities, and so on. That power should be supreme, unchallengeable, and immutable. Stop. This should be beyond the reach of judicial review. Stop. Para. But there is another question, the question that has now arisen. Is this among individual rights? There are some rights, that is the property right, which is a subsidiary right and which has to be curbed in social interest. Stop. But among individual right there are some basic rights like the right of free speech, right to form associations, certain cultural rights, rights of the minorities, and so on. Stop. The question therefore arises that when we say Parliament is supreme and Parliament's legislations should not be checked or should not be judicially reviewed or should not be set aside or should not be declared ultra vires the Constitution by the courts, then we say that so far as Parliament's socio-economic legislations are concerned, like abolishing landlordism, curbing monopolies, curbing restrictive practices, curbing discriminatory practices, curbing exploitation of the weaker and backward sections, and so on. The courts should not come into the picture and they should not be able to interfere. Stop. But sir, so far as the personal rights of the citizen are concerned, that is to say right of not being detained, etc., require a fundamental thinking in the light of the experience